My dear love, hope you are well. In this letter of mine, I want to go back in time where we had met. Before I met you, I was living my life just like anybody else. I was in a routine and I had chores. If I was given something, I would do it. If I didn't want to do something, I would not do it. However, I always felt that there was a certain conformity that everybody had to follow, including myself. I did have many questions, but I also felt that nobody else was asking those questions. And if I would be the only one to ask those questions about my life, about life in general, I would not be seen as a normal person because nobody else was speaking about those things. I figured that there is a natural routine that people follow, and then there is a man made routine that people also follow. Waking up in the morning, sleeping in the night, having food, taking bath. So many things were basic chores that we all do every day. But other than that, the school, the work, jobs, everything else did not make sense to me because I could see a certain kind of monotony. I was confused that which type of monotony is the correct monotony, the natural one or the one that is being created by humans, the man-made monotony, the chores, the cycles, the loops, no questions to be asked, follow everyone else. Felt like a sheep following every other sheep around me. I also felt that some of the things were definitely temporary. When I lost some people in my life, it gave me a big shock and a lot of things to ponder about. I was quite young at that time, but I figured that people leave this place and they go away forever. It gave me a heartbreak, but I had to move on just like everybody else. While growing up also, I was doing many things just because everybody else was doing it. Sometimes fitting in was very hard, but I had very supportive people around me who were protective and took care of me all the time. I just had to go up to them and tell them about anything, and they would leave all their work and attend to me. I thought this was normal too, because this is how people should raise their children. Give them attention, protection, love, care, and anything they need. Nevertheless, I was not happy and I could sense that I was going through an existential crisis. But if I would look around at my peers or at my friends, I would not see them having this type of existential crisis. I used to think, I'm not normal, or maybe I'm trying too hard to be normal. There came a time when I really felt that I was lonely. Inside my heart, there were many questions. But on the exterior, I was doing everything right. Because I was told since my childhood, or I was taught to be perfect. Everything had to be perfect about me, from my hair to my face, to my body, to my clothes, to the way I come across on the social media. Everything had to be perfect. And I did make an attempt to make it look perfect. I had started drifting away and nobody would tell me what exactly was the reason. I was disinterested and I wanted to pursue something else, something different. But what it was, I was not sure about it. And while I was going through these questions, tribulations, and I was also serious about following my heart, you came in my life. You made an entry, and it was an amazing entry because I was extremely intrigued by you and I was extremely interested in you. You definitely were the most interesting person I had met so far, and I was very curious about you. And maybe I said some things which I realized were not in good taste, but I was just trying to get your attention. However, what I figured out just looking at your life was that there was no attempt of trying to look perfect, look nice, or look presentable even. You didn't want to get anybody's opinion. You were just okay the way you were, and your opinions were very strong. And some of the opinions clashed a lot with mine. For example, how I looked to others was very important for me, but for you, how you looked to others didn't matter at all. And this bothered me for many days. I would keep thinking about it. At the same time, I liked your honesty. I could not resist you, but I could also not be with you, because sometimes you would say certain things to me that would boggle my mind and put me into a deep zone of thinking. Certain things you said about me really hurt me deeply. I did not know anything about getting triggered or getting emotionally absurd or emotional reactions. Nothing. I just knew that I liked you a lot and I always wanted to be around you. I always wanted to be like the earth that circles around the sun, or the moon that circles around the earth. But it could never happen, because every time I would try to come close to you, I felt like I was touching fire. I would just get hurt. And this pain and suffering was not helping my case. It was making it worse. Every time it would get too intense, I would just not handle it. I could not handle it because I was not able to handle it. I could not understand why I like you so much and I don't like the things you do to me. How can you like someone so much or love someone so much and still get so irritated by them? Some of the things you said and did not match with my chores or my overall thought patterns. Anything that I was doing in life, my aim was to succeed. My aim was to make money, to get my business going, to make it bigger, to establish myself as someone responsible, someone serious, and someone who others seek counsel to or advice to. And when I looked at you, you had a lot of advice to offer. And I could also sense that there were people who were seeking your counsel. And this shocked me. I had to do something to bring you down, because I could not see you soaring so up in the sky after you humiliate me or scold me or honestly just blurt out anything about me. I loved you, but I felt like you were also my enemy. So I had to tell you where you were wrong, because I felt you were wrong. In my opinion, you were wrong in many things. How could you just walk up to someone and say whatever you felt like? How could you just live your life the way you wanted to live? How could you not be into jobs or be into things that other people were doing? How could you not even be into conventional relationships? Even our relationship was not conventional. It was mind-boggling for me to think that anyone could sustain their life the way you were sustaining it. Because I could not. Even if I wanted to, I could not. And that made me upset. That made me tell myself that I hate you. With time, this whole emotion started building up. We had many outbursts, and each time I was angry with you, I was also scared to let you go. And then there were the phases which were full of push and pull. I would let you go and then wait for you. I would wait for you like a little girl would probably wait for the toy seller on the street. I was so happy Each time you would come back to me, or you would contact me, or you would call me. But then, as soon as I would talk to you for a day, 2, a week, 15 days, the same feeling, the same anger, the same confusion would start coming back once again. First time it happened, I managed. Second time it happened, I still managed. Third time it happened, it started troubling me. The people who were around me could see my moods. The people around me could sense that I was extremely unhappy on days and extremely happy on others. A lot of my close people could not figure out my behavior at all. They would ask me, they would question me, what is wrong with me. And as I told you a while back, that I come from a group of people who are extremely caring, protective for me. But I think now I realize that they were not protective or caring. They were overprotective and overcaring. I was a grown-up child, literally. And I was given everything that I wanted. Or they just knew the exact words or exact things to say to me that would make me want to do what they were wanting me to do, even if it made me sad or upset. This time, when I used to get upset, it was for something else, and they could sense it. They could sense it that I was struggling with something that I did not understand. It was the way I was raised, because I was raised with a lot of strong systems in place. They could be never wrong. The whole world could be wrong, but what I was told, what I was taught could not be wrong. And in the practical reality, it worked very well. So the only thing they could come up with, the only thing that they could tell me was I was in a toxic relationship or a toxic situation with a person who was just using me emotionally, mentally, physically, or in some other way. Though I don't remember any time where you had used me for anything. I hadn't given you anything that would have costed me even a cent. So that itself shows that you have not taken anything from me, but I was constantly told that this girl is out there for something that you possess. She's either after your money, or she's after your looks, or she just likes to play with you, with your feelings. And I started looking for evidence. I started looking for proof. And every time you would say something that would lead me to it, that would sound like it, I would make a note of it. And I started storing those notes inside my head. I started going away from you because I felt that you were unhealthy for me and my sanity. You were driving me nuts. And I knew no way to fix it. Eventually there came a time when I decided to stop this madness forever. And I told you that I would not want to do this anymore. This push and pull, this coming and going, this love and this intensity. All this intensity, all the dramatics, all the tears, all the emotional stuff, that was just not for me. Especially the intensity. It felt too heavy on my heart. So I decided to focus on all the negative aspects of everything that was going on between us and completely ignore how happy you made me feel, how natural I felt it was to connect with you, how much I wanted you, how badly I wanted you, and how much I suffered when you were gone. Or I should say, how much I suffered when I pushed you away. Each time I pushed you away, I would sit and regret for days. And I would literally wait for you to get back to me. And this was my experience, which I could not explain to anyone. Eventually, as I said, there came a time when I decided that I will not do this anymore. I thought that you will not care about it. I thought the way you were, free-spirited, happy-go-lucky, independent, doing your own things. I did not know that you were suffering or you were not suffering. All I could see is that you were someone who did not need anyone. I also felt many times that I was not needed in your life, but I needed to succeed. Materialistically, I had to prove it to a lot of people that I am good enough, that I am the rightful choice they have made, and as I said, that I was perfect and flawless in front of the world. I remember once I was very irritated by you when you said that nobody is perfect. I was also triggered when you said that I am not flawless. I have many flaws. And though in a normal sense, any humble person would think that they have flaws, but when you said it to me that I have flaws and I'm imperfect, I took it very personally, and I thought that in future you will definitely give me a kick on my ass and move on with someone much better than me. Looking at you, I also did feel that you would find someone easily. So I had to move on. I had to move on and I had to listen to all the advice that I was getting, because at least those people were giving me something tangible. In your case, I felt like I was living a dream, and anytime I would open my eyes, the dream would be over. My dear, even though I tried very hard to go away from you, but I still haven't been able to go away. But why do I say this? Is because I still think about you, and I think about you quite fondly sometimes. And then I realize that maybe it was the wrong timing. Maybe we were two right people who loved each other, who cared for each other, who felt this really strong natural connection with each other. But the timing was so bad because I was struggling, and now I realize that you were struggling too. It can't be only one-sided. The pain, the suffering, the confusion. It's just that I was too selfish to notice that someone else could also be suffering along with me. Or I was too scared and innocent maybe to even discuss it with you, to ask you that are you going through the same thing? In fact, I did drop some hints at you. I sent you some songs. I sent you some, funny posts. I would even share some quotes with you. But you never really discussed it with me. And I felt that maybe you think that I'm an immature person. I'm not worthy of your spiritual discussions that you do it with other people. Because with other people, I could see you would go on and on and on. And with me, it was only the problems that existed in our relationship. All you wanted was to fix it, but you would not tell me how to fix it. And now I think about it, I feel that maybe you did not know how to fix it either. I was being too difficult with you, too hard onto you. And how did this change? How did my opinions change despite all the advice that I've been getting? It is the distance, it is the gap that we have both been experiencing. I hope you still remember me though. Or even if you do, I think you don't remember me so fondly. You think that I was a horrible person, a monster, someone who treated you horribly, someone who's a bad person. And it's okay to think like that, because at one time I was also thinking the same things. If today you don't like me, you hate me, or you think I was a mistake that you made, and I'm an arrogant person who's very selfish, there was a time when I felt the same, and the people around me were giving me the same information. So I thought that it's best to go away from you. And maybe you also feel the same way about me. And I feel that if going away from you did help me to figure things out, maybe going away from me will also help you figure some things out. I don't want to stop you. I don't want to come in your way. That's why I'm connecting with you through my higher self right now. My dear, I know that there is a bigger purpose in everything that happened. After you went away, I had many epiphanies. I had many dreams. I would see you in my dreams on and off. And every day I would see you in my dream, I felt that I was more closer to you than the previous one. And with time, I also realized one more thing with time, that I could never get over you. And I had to accept it to feel better, because the more I was fighting it and the more I was running away from you, it was causing me a lot of pain. But the day I would accept you, even your thoughts, I would feel better. So I found this mechanism somehow that I stopped fighting against your thoughts, or I would not try to run away. Whatever would happen, I would soak it in, I would breathe into it, and it would feel better. And my opinion about you has changed completely, because I watch you on and off, and I feel that yes, many of the things you said to me, though it triggered me a lot, they were true. I had to work on certain things, and I also realize now that you were not so strong with your opinions. Sometimes you said a lot of things in a manner that you were joking about it, but I had some issues that only I knew, or my people knew, that I had faced in my childhood. I had to develop a strong ego to protect myself. I had to create a strong identity. I think within, I was just a mushy person, an emotional guy, a sensitive person. But outside, I had to act like a macho man, someone who would be taken seriously by others, someone who would not be treated like a child, someone who would be given acknowledgement, appreciation, and yeah, ego massage too. When you touched the points that you did, it affected me, because those were the areas I was trying to fit in or work on myself. The things you would say about body positivity, it used to trigger me. I would question you, would you be okay if I was fat and ugly? And you would laugh and say, maybe, I don't know. I don't say that you should be ugly or fat or anything, or thin or tall or short. I remember you said that you love me just the way I am, and I simply could not digest it. And now I would really want to be with someone who would love me just the way I am, because nobody loves me just the way I am. You fell in love with me when I had nothing, when I was struggling, when I was trying to make a mark, my work was not yet established. You loved me when I literally did not have anything to offer to you. And today, when I have so many things, I feel that nobody really wants me, but they want those things. I cannot even go back to you right now at this stage or admit my mistakes, because you have seemed to moved on and you look very happy in your life. And I sense that you must be really pissed off with me. You must be very angry at me. I'm sure you don't like me as a person. And now you're 100% sure that I was an immature guy who was so selfish and so inhuman towards you. I do look back and feel that yes, there were times when I treated you with inhumanity. I did not even treat you like a person who I knew so well, who I was intimate with, who I was close to, who I always said so many things to every time she would come back to me. You knew that I loved you, but yet I told you 100 times that I don't love you. Just go away. Just leave me alone. Just don't come near me. You're horrible. You're disgusting. You're sick. You're using me. You don't love me. This, that, and what not. And any self-respecting person would like to go away from this toxicity that I was offering you. It almost seems to me that I was toxic and I was over-pampered. Nobody had the guts or the courage to tell me that I need to work on myself too. Okay, fine, you were not perfect either and you had to work on yourself. But at least you were doing that. I could see it. I saw that you were involved in some activities, you were part of some communities, you were always going away. And yet this whole experience makes me feel that it was good for both of us in some ways. I'm sure you learned a lot. You learned to not listen to people like me. You learned to follow your heart because I can see you're doing that. You probably realized that I was just another douchebag who just wanted you for your body, and I was full of lust at times. Everything that I pointed at you, everything, actually it was coming through me and I was getting triggered about it. I was the one who was money-minded, I was the one who was materialistic, and I was the one who wanted the physical intimacy as well. I was the one who was full of lust. But I thought that if I am saying all these things and I still claim to be in love with you, then how is it possible that you are not doing the same thing with me and you may not also be in love with me? I was not sure about my own feelings sometimes. The way we would run away, the way you would come back, the way you would push me or the way I would push you, it did not feel like love. It felt more like attraction and lust and acting things out and ego. But where was it all coming from? And I'm quite shocked that you took it for so many days. So my dear, I'm extremely thankful to you that you took so much of my bad behavior. I'm sure anybody else would not have taken it, and I feel bad about it. I regret everything that I did and I said to you. But at the same time, I feel that you have had the maximum impact in my life. Whatever I am doing today, I think I'm doing it for your attention, so that you look at me and you feel like I am an amazing person. But I know that you would not look at me anymore and you would not bother about someone like me. I stand nowhere as compared to your huge giving and compassionate nature. I'm sorry about everything that I've said and done. I know things cannot be changed, but I strive to work on myself. And I'm also scared because even though I feel this way, I feel all of these emotions, I still fear that the same pattern will repeat again. I still believe that everything happens for a good reason, and maybe both you and me, we came in our lives, in each other's lives, so that I could become more aware of my spiritual nature. I could become more aware of my intuition, of my emotions, of the love I feel, and you would be more aware about staying away from people like me. Thank you so much for listening to me. I appreciate it a lot, as much as I appreciate you in my life. I love you. So friends, this is where this letter ends. And for your personal situation, you can write to me at thesunamoon@gmail.com. Kindly do not share your twin flame journey in advance with me. I will see you soon in another one. One love and peace out.